Well, no shortage of shortages in 2022. You've got cars, car parts, computer chips, and, as it turns out, airline pilots. More than 5,000 flights were canceled over the weekend, many because of staffing issues. American Airlines announcing it's suspending service to 3 cities because of a lack of pilots. Captain Dennis Tajer is a pilot with American Airlines. He serves as spokesman for the Allied Pilots Association, which is a union that represents 15,000 professional pilots. And Dennis, we've talked a lot in the past about some of the issues, but it seems like things have continued to get worse. Thousands and thousands of flights getting canceled and passengers getting stranded. What's happening? What's the problem?
It's a failure to plan. The system is under stress because of a failure to plan by management. I was on this program when during the pandemic, and the investment was made by the U.S. government, the American taxpayer, some $13 billion to American Airlines for payroll support, and they did not train the pilots. And now what we're seeing is a failure to utilize the pilots that you do have, and their backlog in training is epic. And now here's the real problem. They're trying to fly airplanes without the pilots available. They are pilot pushing, and they are narrowing the margin of safety. Our fatigue calls have gone up tenfold, and this has just got to stop. It's a very serious issue right now. And I'm out on a trip right now, and I had very little time yesterday to spare. Otherwise, I would have gone illegal and been unable to fly the rest of the sequence.
Meaning that you have to have so much downtime before you continue. You can only fly for how many hours, and then you need how many hours off?
That's correct. The length of the day, actually, my day was already built at about 12 hours. That left me about an hour to spare, built as scheduled. You have any hiccup there, and it's fallen apart. So this is a failure of management to utilize the money that was given to them by the American taxpayer to have us ready for the recovery, and we're not. They just did not have a plan. And now we're starting to see them trying to cut corners in training. For instance, Guatemala City, which is a high-terrain, very challenging airport, they used to have an experienced instructor go with us on our first flight there. Now they're telling us, hey, why don't you just take a look at this iPad course and you'll be good to go. I think Boeing learned that that's not the way to train pilots.
And this is some scary stuff that you're saying, and we get it. We understand what the industry went through, basically shut down for a year. My question is this. Why do the airlines keep booking flights then that they're not sure they can fill? I think people would understand, hey, the pilot's too tired, don't get on the plane. What people are pissed off about, angry about, is that they're buying tickets and then the flight's not going, and they're probably thinking, why did the airlines sell this flight when they probably weren't sure they could get staff? That's just weird.
That's not weird. That's just wrong. And we're equally as angered. This is not the way to run a business. What they did was they looked at the demand and they decided, here's where the money is, let's go get it. But they never had a plan to actually fulfill that, and they left it on our plate. You got to wonder why American Airlines right now, the U.S. government that books travel for our military members and federal employees, has said, do not book American Airlines because of the cancellation rate and the inability to rebook your flights. That's stunning. The federal government is saying, don't book on American Airlines. They sold tickets that they knew they were not going to be able to fulfill this summer. And today, we have 82 of the 84 flights that have canceled for American are all coded because they could not connect the pilot to the airplane. That's just not doing business. That's just selling something that you don't have.